Hey guys, happy holidays. Welcome to another episode of War of the Visions where I try to review MR or lower rarity units. Since it's Christmas time and we didn't get Christmas Baelo, we got something a bit better and unexpected. I wasn't really expecting Winter Luarta. I decided for the holidays, why not do a little review of Baelo. Now, personally, Baelo is a character in the story I dislike. So it was really hard for me to try to do this review without bashing on him too much. But I'm going to do my best to not bash on him. Because he is pretty annoying in my book, in my opinion, in the story. However, as a unit, it's himself. He's pretty interesting in a way. He has a unique stat that's abnormally high for a unit like this, and that's what we're gonna explore today. So let's dive right in. All right, Baelo here is his main job is knight, while he has a sub job of warrior and paladin. Now, if we go over to his move list, let's see. We'll go over some of his notable move stuff. As a main job knight, his goal is to apply breaks to the enemy, mainly attack and magic breaks, but he has access to other kinds of breaks, such as TP break for those Pexi support units that like to cast heals and buffs. AP break, which helps make it so that the target that it hits have a harder time using their best moves. And then we have individual breaks like power break for attack power. And then if you go to his sub job right here, you go to his sub job. That's not what I want. He'll have access to magic break for magic attackers, and speed break for lowering agility. So he has breaks on the individual level, and then he also has access to disable, which has a chance of making the enemy not be able to attack you for 3 turns. But on top of his breaks as separately, he also has his Trinity Burst, which is an upgraded move when you upgrade him to level 120. It goes from a medium damage move to a large damage move, and it lowers attack, magic, and agility at the same time for 3 turns. It's a little more costly on the AP side of his move kit versus the individual breaks that he can do, which costs 18. But honestly, if you're going to use him as a knight, as a breaker, you're better off having this on and applying all 3 breaks at the same time as opposed to doing it individually. The other thing you get when you upgrade Baelo to EX 120 jobs is his level 25 skill, and that's Sapping Sword, which is a medium damage move that absorbs a part of the damage he dealt. Honestly, this is not that great of an ability. It does help with his survivability, which I'll get into in a minute. But compared to, let's say, King Mont, who has a similar move in his EX 120, the Killer Drain, I believe it's called, that recovers more HP than what this move recovers. I used this in battle, and it's not recovering as much as I expected. I understand that it's only a portion, but I was expecting a portion to be a little bit more. But at the same time, I don't believe Baelo is a damage dealer. He's there to apply breaks and takes hits. And the reason why I say that is thanks to his Paladin sub job, which gives him access to stuff like Sentinel for more defense spirit for a turn, Taunting Blade to attract enemies to him, and he has Immortal Spirit. So the idea For Baelo is for him to attract enemies to him, have break the enemies, and absorb hits while his allies takes care of the rest. I don't see Baelo as a damaging unit. His warrior sub job honestly is not that great. It's only for PvP aspects, and even then, I still want to use this in the PvP setting. He doesn't have access to really good moves, honestly. I guess Body Slam is the best because it's a different attack type and it can knock the opponent back one space. But if you're trying to bring the opponent towards you so you could take hits, then I wouldn't recommend this. His best sub job would be his Paladin job. When we come over here to his support abilities, Steward Mastery is one of his upgraded support moves that adds defense and spirit, I believe, to his mastery on top of the HP. And then Holy Knight's Protection is another support that adds more HP and defense. And this is why I say that he's more on the defensive type, because he has a lot of supports that up his defense and spirit. It makes him very tanky. He does have an attack up support, and honestly, he can't reach DPS levels like other units can, no matter how much you try. It might make his sapping sword a bit better, but I don't recommend having it. This is more for PvP if you want to make him an attacker in PvP. And then he has Divine Protection, which can work if you're in a situation where debuffs are high, like you want to try to prevent that from happening. His reaction abilities, Sword Guard, I believe, is one of his better ones because it has a chance to reduce damage. He also has Paladin Guard, but it's only for physical damage. And if you compare just physical damage to all kinds of damage, I'd rather go with Sword Guard than Paladin Guard. If things shift over to mainly just physical attacks, then maybe you want to give this a go. I believe this has a chance, a little slight higher chance of proccing because it's just physical damage, but I'm not too sure. But honestly, I will go with Sword Guard because it's all around damage, and he has a chance of blocking any of it. But the real reason why we're reviewing Baelo today is because his master ability adds something interesting to his kit that you cannot see from all the stuff that we just looked at. His master ability adds 10% agility and 30% luck. Now this luck over here, this is the stat that's really interesting because with this 30% luck, which adds onto his base luck, Baelo is within the top 10, I believe top 5 even, but I'm going to say top 10 because he's definitely in top 10 units with the highest luck. Now, why is this important? Well, this is important because luck is one of 3 stats that determine if a unit can be evasive. And Baelo's master ability has both increased agility and increased luck, which tells me that Baelo can be an evasive unit. Now, today's battles, you're gonna see him do some evasive stuff, but I'm gonna say here, he's hard to use as an evasion unit. Doesn't mean he can't be. He's just hard. He has nothing in his kit that will help increase evasion on the battlefield. So he requires a lot of external help to get the job done. He like I said, one thing that does mess up his evasion is this skill, the Sentinel, because it lowers evasion on the turn, but it gives him more bulk. So he's one of those units that he can either be a tank or he could be evasive. based on his kit. And today like I said before, we're gonna look at his evasive stuff. All right, in terms of gearing Baelo, again, based on his jobs, you want to make him defensive. So let's just look at his stats real quick again. So we see I have him a knight main job, paladin's sub job, and I put both his defense support skills on. So he has max HP defense spirit here, max HP defense spirit here. So we can see he already has a starting point of 5k HP with 40 defense and 14 spirit, and that's without anything equipped onto him. So if you were a beginner and you have Baelo as one of your units that you want to use, and let's say you 120 him by mistake, if you just by equipping this right here, Leonis Castle, which offers a bestowed effect of plus 15 defense and spirit, by just equipping this alone, we can see that his defensive spirit has gone up already. This alone is good enough for PvE content for beginners, especially if you're a beginner. Now we add something else here that has defense, so like a shield or something. So for example, Baelo, let's see, what has good defense that I have? So that has that. So here, how about this? So Emblem of Devouring. This is a limited time equipment, but as you can see, just by equipping this, now Baelo has 70 defense. So you could go into a battle with that has a lot of physical attackers, and Baelo here is going to be able to take hits. Add an Esper into it, which I believe Golem would be one of his better Espers. Boom. Now his defense goes up to 85. As you can see, Baelo here can be a good defensive tank, physical defensive tank for beginners. But I'm gonna show you a build that is more for advanced players, more for long-term players that have a lot of stuff, and it's also going to be the basis of today's battles. All right, so today's team consists of an all-earth team. Baelo here is going to be teamed up with Halloween Ryu and Winter Venera, mainly because both these units have a master ability that's going to help Baelo survive a bit more. So they both have a party master ability that gives Earth allies more HP and more Earth attack for their allies. So that was Halloween Ryu, and then we look at Christmas Venera, and she has, as you can see, she has the same thing. Baelo here is set up to be an evasive unit. Now again, I don't feel like he's a true evasive unit, but because of his luck stat, look how high this luck stat is. This is over 538. This is over 500 in luck stat. So having this much luck, it probably could go even higher if I had certain gear, but you don't see this too often. Now the downside is, even though he has high luck, his agility is pretty low compared to other units who are meant to be evasive, and he doesn't have any innate evasion stats in his kit whatsoever. He's purely relying on the luck stat to do his evasion stuff. So the build here is to try to build the luck stack as high as possible. Now, I have here the producer's bow tie. It does have all these negative stats, especially negative evasion, But here it has the luck up 77. That's why you see the luck being so high. Honestly, though, the luck up here and the minus evade stat here cancel each other out. So this is more for the looks, quote unquote, than the actual evasion. However, the map that Baelo will be battling on today is a small map, and I need him to do his Immortal Spirit first turn to add that increased survivability. And Producer's Bow does offer move down 1 for 3 turns. This allows Baelo, or any unit for that matter, to be able to set up at least 1 turn on a smaller map, which is very helpful. Then I equipped him with the Mithril Armor because this is one of the few armor pieces that have dodge into it. He's not able to equip much else in terms of equipment. I think he's only available for like armor and stuff like that. If I could just scroll down. Here you go. Yeah, he's only allowed to equip armor and helms, and there's not many helms that could dodge. But he has accessories also. So that's my best option for dodging. And as you can see here, with all the equipment that are equipped to him, plus the cards that I have attached, a lot of his negative resistance are gone except for magic. So we have that. Then I have him equipped with 2B's Trustmaster because this has some built-in evasion, and the overclock ability, if he pulls it off, if he has a chance to pull off, allows him to acquire more AP, which he definitely needs because his stronger breaks cost a lot of AP. And if I want to do his strong breaks, then I need as much AP as possible. And it gives him agility for three turns, which will help with his evasion. Then I gave him Odin. Odin for an evasive Baelo is almost mandatory because Odin has a lot of luck and agility in his stats, and you need to max out Odin in order to achieve this. Plus, Odin has Slash and Man-Eater, which helps with Baelo's damage, even though Baelo's not going to be doing much damage no matter what you do. So Odin's that. Then I have him holding the Halloween Monsters card. This was a limited time vision card that came during Halloween. It gives party agility up for Earth units and Spirit up for Earth units. And when you max it out, we get a Pierce attack resistance up for 20, which is perfect for Baelo. But not only that, there's a bestow ability of luck up 20% for Earth units. So any Earth units holding this card will get additional luck up of 20%. This is great because since that's a bestowed ability, if you have one of your other units hold this card, Secrets of the Hearts, the party ability of luck up 35% will stack with that card, essentially giving Baelo an 55% boost in his luck, his base luck. It's not the overall luck. If it was overall luck, he would be even higher. And then to round off like the evasion build, I have Venera hold the Titan card, which gives Earth unit evasion up 20. So he's pretty stacked with as much evasion as possible with this build. So let's see how the battles goes, and let's see how much he can evade and how useful he can be while evading. So our first battle here is with a common team, King Mont, Duane, and Helena. The goal is to see how much Baelo can dodge. That's the main purpose of the team. So both Halloween Ryu and Winter Venera, they're built to be more of attackers and not much of taking hits. So to start off, Venera does use the bells to gain some AP restoration, while Ryu, who's equipped with Louelle's Trustmaster reward, will provide luck up for both himself and Baelo. This shall help Baelo for at least 3 turns gain extra luck and hopefully get some extra dodge in. On top of that, the only other things that both Venera and Ryu will be doing is just doing their massive attacks. And in the spirit of Christmas, you know, might as well have a Christmas theme LB as well. So Winter Venera just fits perfectly, especially on today. So as you can see, the map's kind of small, and but thanks to the bow, the enemy units are drawn towards Baelo, and Baelo dodged that first attack from King Mont. So now Duane here is doing his LB, Limit Break, and Baelo took 1 hit and dodged the other hit. So it wasn't so bad. And even Venera got a dodge in thanks to the cards that are equipped. So see here, this is a perfect example of his sapping sword. His sapping sword did that at least 1k damage, but it didn't heal that much. Versus Ryu, who has Drain Evocation, will do a lot of damage, but then heals back that much damage as well. If sapping sword was similar to that, then I would recommend it as a move to have for Baelo. But since it doesn't, it's hard to recommend it. But so far right now, Baelo is doing a good job at dodging. So down goes King Mont. Now it's just Duane versus 2. Venera goes down, so now it's just Baelo versus Duane. Now here is a scenario you don't want to be in, honestly. If I had more survivability with both Venera and Ryu, then Baelo will not be in the situation, but wanted to show you that Baelo's not too good in a one-on-one situation. Our next team is going to be versus an all-earth team, Oberon, Zazan, and Louelle. And this is a prime example of what the meta is going to be shifting towards in the future, or probably now. You'll see it more often, where you have 3 different attack types. Oberon's a pierce attacker, Zazan's a slash attacker, and Louelle is a magic attacker. So it makes it hard to defend against 3 different attack types, and you have to strategize how you want to go about it. Especially when you're doing class match PvP where you don't know what you're facing against. It's good practice to try to go against versatile teams like this, even if they all are the same element. But to start the battle, Venera dodged Louelle's attack and retaliate with a taunting spell. Now Zazan here is going to do his awesome looking Limit Break, which I really enjoy watching this. And as Ryu says, is there something wrong with your eyes? He completely missed Ryu. And now Oberon's going to do his LB, targeting both character units, and they both dodge. I wasn't expecting Ryu to be dodgy, but he's doing a good job at dodging as well. I might try that in the future to see how well Ryu can be an evasive unit. But Ryu retaliates with his attack, and Baelo's still suffering from Producer's Bow's move down effect, so he can't move he can't move enough in order to attack, so he's going to use 2B's Trustmaster to gain some more AP and agility. And thanks to that, he was able to dodge Zazan's normal attack. However, Ryu can't dodge Oberon's normal attack. Now, Ryu is a good partner for Baelo because they're both Earth slash units. So since Baelo's not good as a DPS unit, he can provide some support as he does here with his Trinity Burst. And then Ryu, since he is a damage dealer, can deal more damage with a chain. Alright, our last battle is gonna be with Noctis, Cloud, and Helena. Cloud is at a elemental disadvantage, but Cloud is really strong for what he is as a unit. And I do feel like he can take on Earth units, maybe not by himself, just solely by himself, but he can hold his own, honestly. I didn't pull for Cloud, but if I had Cloud, I would test him out against Earth unit because I think he can hold his own against them. But to start things off, everyone starts off with their normal setups. Uh, Pretty much, Helena goes for her strong attack and Venera dodges. I'm not. It's funny how the other two are dodging attacks in the testing I've done. Not all the time, but they've dodged enough for me to be surprised. Cloud has some guaranteed moves in his kit, so he can hit Baelo pretty easy and do really good damage despite having the elemental disadvantage. But as you can see here, he can't take the hit too well. Baelo here is going to do his Trinity Break, which helps a lot in his survivability. Venera finishes off Helena on her own, so she's going to join the battle soon. But Cloud's like, nope, I'm going to take you down and leave it like that. This is why I say Cloud's really strong. But he left his back exposed, and Ryu healed off the damage that was dealt to him. And Baelo's holding his own. When he's not dodging, he took those hits pretty well. And then Noctis goes down. Alright, so my final thoughts on Baelo. Right before I do that, let me just show you his base attack resistance stats without any gear. As you can see, he's weak to Pierce and he's weak to Magic. But he has a decent strike resistance, which is kind of rare for any unit that's like a tank or something. And a lot of tank units are weak to strikes. He's one of the few that isn't. But as for my final thoughts, do you want a 120 Baelo? And that's actually a tricky question to answer for him, because it depends on where you're at with your account. Honestly, if you're a new player, I do not recommend leveling to 120 because new players won't have access to any of the evasion stuff. You need a lot of evasion, high-end evasion gear that are +5, espers at max resonance, high statues, masteries, and elements, etc. So you need all that stuff. So that leaves Baelo as a tank for a new player to use. However, new players get access to Mont, and Mont, they give a lot of charge out from Mont to get him to 120 pretty easy. And Mont, in my opinion, is a slightly better tank than Baelo, and also, like I said before, easier to build. So I do not recommend him for newer players. If you want a tank unit, use Mont. Now for more veteran players, this is where it's tricky because veteran players or long-term players will most likely have access to all the cards on gear that I mentioned, have high stature rates, have high elemental stats, stuff like that, to make Baelo very evasive. But do I recommend for a veteran player, long-term player, to EX20 him? Only if you want to have fun. He's not a meta unit whatsoever, but if you're looking to have fun, like just mess around with your account, mess with people, then go for it, because he's fun. He can be fun in the right map, the right situation. He's a blast. However, if you do go that route of deciding to 120 him, the level 25 skill, Sapping Sword, I kind of don't recommend. I think you should save that Blossom for another day. If they change it in the future where he could get the same amount of health that he based on the damage he done, then it'll be more worth it. But in his current state, it's not that worth. It's only if you're building like an extreme hyper active attack version of Baelo, which honestly with his kit, that's super hard to do. Maybe down the line, I'll give it a try to see if Sapping Sword is worth it. But currently, either building him as tank or building him as evasion, you don't want the Sapping Sword. You still want to get him to 120 because it gives him the stats that he needs to be evasive. But don't worry about the skill. You could live without it. And that's my review of Baelo. I hope you enjoy it. Happy holidays. Like I said, it's been pretty busy for me these past couple weeks. So sorry this came out late, but I want to try to at least have this out by Christmas. And I hope everyone has a safe and happy holidays. You know, the world is pretty gloomy, but let's make the best of it. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'll see you guys next time. Laters. Yeah, he's proud of his size. I mean, I would be too. I would be proud of my size too. But yeah. He's still annoying.